Yo, what's going on, true Blazer fans? It's Torey, and I'm back with another player analysis video. Now, when I started this player analysis series, I said I wanted to do it to hold you guys over until training camp started, because I was really just looking for an idea on types of videos to do until, we got back to basketball. Well, it's Friday right now, and the preseason starts tomorrow, so I kind of ran out of time. So I'm going to try and cram in these final 4 player analysis videos over the next couple days. Might even do them next week if I really have to, but I'm definitely going to finish this series. So with all that being said, let's jump into today's video. This one is going to be on Maurice Harkless, who I believe will be our X factor this upcoming season. Maurice Harkless was missing in action almost the whole first half of last season. He really struggled, he didn't seem bought in, and there was a game or two where I saw his body language on the bench and it actually frustrated me. Seeing a guy that didn't seem to care at all what was happening on the court and was just completely checked out. And he went on to later admit that he had a bad mindset and that he apologized to the team for it, which takes a lot of guts to apologize to your entire team for the way that you've been acting. So I really do respect that, and I know that the team respected that as well. And he seemed to kind of move out of that weird little stage he was in and actually produce a pretty good season over the second half of the year. When you look at his season splits, it definitely reflects that. October through January, his stats weren't that good. His minutes per game went down each month. But then in February, he bust out for 26 minutes a game, where he averaged 8 points, which wasn't great, but it's Maurice Harkless, he doesn't shoot a lot. But he shot 56% from the field and 48% from the three-point line. And then in March, he averaged 11 points per game and shot 58% from the field and 56% from the three-point line. That is crazy efficient, even for a guy who doesn't shoot that much. And if you get that Maurice Harkless for an entire season, obviously you wouldn't be able to maintain that efficiency, but if he was able to kind of keep it somewhat close to that level of production, he'd be a great player. And it's no surprise that the Portland Trail Blazers play their best basketball when he's playing well. That bump in production in February going into March coincided with our 13-game winning streak, and I don't think that's any coincidence at all. I think Evan Turner as a starting small forward is a horrible fit with our guards because he can't space, and he also needs the ball in his hands. While I don't think he's as good of a playmaker as he's built up to be, that really hurt our team in my opinion. Evan Turner's better coming off the bench. So Maurice Harkless being able to step up and reclaim that starting small forward role was huge for our success down the stretch. And if he maintained the season he was having earlier in the season, if he maintained being checked out and not invested in the team, then we might have missed the playoffs, because his play down the stretch probably won us 3 or 4 games. Since we didn't make an upgrade at small forward this past summer, we're going to have to rely on Maurice Harkless putting together a full 82 games of solid basketball, which is probably not going to happen because inconsistency has always been a thing with Maurice Harkless. Whether it's mental, whether he's just not a good enough player, so sometimes he has stretches where he struggles, and sometimes he has stretches where he looks good. I don't really know the reason why, but hopefully he can correct it enough to be able to help us win 50 or more games, because I think him playing good basketball is definitely the key, because his lows are very low, and his highs, he looks absolutely amazing. His defense is usually very good, and it was good for the majority of last season. He just needs to be checked into the game and bought in mentally to be able to play good defense, because defense is mostly effort. He has the lateral quickness, he has the size, he has the length, he has the athleticism to be able to play good defense. It just matters on if he's bought in 100% into giving the effort to play good defense. And his defense is crucial as a small forward now, especially that you got a guy like LeBron James in the Western Conference, because Maurice Harkless is probably going to get that matchup, and it's crucial for him to have his mind right, because while he's a very good defender, it's hard to have a liability on the offensive end at the small forward position, and when Maurice Harkless isn't checked in, he's an offensive liability. So if he's able to knock down threes around 40% and able to score a little bit in the post and able to cut off of Yusuf Nurkic in the high post especially, he's a help. And he's more of a help than Evan Turner, and that would mean Evan Turner would be getting less minutes, which, if you know me, that's a good thing. As far as his shooting goes, I have one form improvement that I think he could use to help better his form. I don't know if any of you have ever realized this, but Maurice Harkless leans to the left when he shoots. His body is not straight up and down. He has a little bit of a leftward lean, and it's kind of weird. I've talked to some Blazer fans who haven't noticed this, and I've talked to some Blazer fans who have. I honestly think if he could be more upright, more straight up and down, that would probably relieve a little tension in his right shoulder and might lead to more success shooting from the outside. He has kind of a stiff shot. If he was able to kind of get more upright and loosen up his shoulders a little bit, maybe he could consistently be a 40% shooter on volume, because while he was a 40% shooter last year, it wasn't on the biggest volume. He only shot 118 threes on the entire season, which equates to exactly 2 threes per game. So if he is able to loosen up his shoulders a little bit, might make his release a little bit quicker, might make him more confident in his shot, might make him shoot better. Maybe you could get him shooting more threes this season, and this is the way that Terry Stotts and Neil Olshey want the offense to go. They want to shoot over 30 threes per game next season. They want to launch him up. So if Maurice Harkless could improve his form and improve his shooting consistency and ability, he could definitely help us make more threes and help our offense be more dynamic. Now, his injury is of concern for me because while it's said that he's probably going to return for the last preseason game and he's going to be ready for October 18th to go up against LeBron James, I just wonder how rusty he's going to be, because this is that knee injury that bothered him at the end of last season that caused him to miss games, and then they rushed him back for playoffs, which apparently has prolonged this issue into training camp this year. So I wonder how much he's been able to get shots up this past summer. This is a knee injury that I guess bothered him all summer, so really how much work could he get in on his shot? And this isn't a guy like Stephen Curry who's just going to come in the gym and light it up no matter what because he's so naturally talented. Maurice Harkless has had horrible shooting seasons, and he's had good shooting seasons on low volume, so we still don't really know who he is as a three-point shooter, and we still don't really know how good he is in that area. So I'm kind of worried that he's going to miss a lot of shots to start the season, and that might spiral into him kind of losing that mindset again and kind of checking out, which would cause more problems with his game and might end up with him seeing more DNPs like he did last season. I just think this is kind of a fragile situation with his injury and him not being a super consistent shooter. And since it's a knee issue, you could see some issues with him not being conditioned enough to go against LeBron 3 times in his first 14 games, because it might take him some time to regain that game shape. And when you're going against LeBron that much to start the season, you don't really have that time to really get back to that game shape. So hopefully he's in good enough shape that when he does come back, he's able to play 30 minutes against LeBron, because he's probably the best defender to put on LeBron just in terms of a size and strength and athleticism standpoint in the position that he plays. So his injury is of some concern even if he's able to get back, because we need him to hit shots and we need him to be able to guard LeBron. Anyway, true Blazer fans, let me know what you think about Maurice Harkless this upcoming season. Let me know if you think he's the X factor, and if not, who is it? I think it's definitely him. Just let me know your thoughts in general on Harkless down in the comment section below. As I've always said, I like to keep a dialogue going with you guys. We're almost done with this player analysis series. It's crazy, we only got 3 more to go, and I wanted to have it wrapped up by the preseason, but that's not going to happen. So over the next few days, I will wrap up this series and give you some things to watch for preseason, probably dropping tomorrow, a FanFest vlog, and Eric will get back on those full highlights and crank those out pretty quickly for you guys. So stay tuned for some more great Blazer content. And with all that being said, this has been Torey. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace out. Go Blazers.